Hey, what's up, guys? It's George, and I just realized that I have officially ran for 152 days in a row. No days off. Today is my 152nd day in a row of running every single day, averaging about a 5K a day, about 3 miles a day. On the low end, 2 miles, and on the high end, anywhere to 8 miles. But every single day, no days off. And I'm not breaking any records or anything like that, but hey, I'm getting it done every single day. Not one single day have I missed in just about 6 months now. And so I thought I would do a video just sharing about my experience, why I started doing this and what benefits I may have received. So it's interesting, like I said, it's been about 6 months now since I adopted this habit. And it was, to be specific, it was on August 18th that I started this habit. And what's interesting is right before that, on July 1st of this year, was the day that I lost my entire business, which I did a video about that. I had an eBay business that was doing over $50,000 a month in sales, and I had employees working for me, virtual assistants, and overnight, long story short, lost my entire business. And that was an interesting time in my life because when you have a growing, thriving business that gets shut down, gets the rug pulled out right from underneath you, it makes it an interesting time in my life. And although due to all my years of self-improvement and everything, I got through it with a good attitude and just kept moving forward. I think unconsciously felt like something was missing in my life because for the past almost year and a half, almost 2 years before that, I'd been working at that business every single day, working at it diligently every single day. It was on my mind. I was working on it. I was studying. I was training people that worked for me, and I was constantly involved with that business. And all of a sudden, when that got taken away from me, for a little while, it's just kind of like just unconsciously felt like something was missing in my life, and I just didn't feel like the same George that I loved, the same level that I loved to play at. And all of a sudden, one day I was on YouTube and I came across this video from this guy who talked about how he runs every single day. This guy, hella good. And I watched a couple of his videos, and he documented, shared about how he ran, from 100 days, 500 days, 1,000 days in a row and beyond. And I got, just for some reason, really inspired by his story and his experience. And I thought, and I decided that moment, that day that I watched his video, I decided that I was going to take on the habit of running every single day. I've always loved running. When I was younger, I used to love running. I was a cross-country track. But then when I was in my early 20s, I developed bilateral plantar fasciitis and bilateral Achilles tendonitis at bone spurs. I just totally screwed up my feet. And so because of that, I let go of the habit of running. And I started looking into other ways to exercise. And so years went by where I didn't run, but I always missed it because it's just something, to me personally, it's just something magical about running. I always loved it. And so at that moment, for some reason, when I was watching his videos, I just decided, you know what? I'm getting back into running. I don't care if it hurts. I don't care, what it takes. I'm just going to get out there and run. No excuses. And I did. That very day, I ran for the first time. And then after that, I just ran every single day. And I didn't even, really have any big aspirations for how long I was going to go, or what, really why I was doing it or whatever. Just like I said, I think there was just, something that was missing in my life after the business got shut down, like a void, a gap that I needed to fill up. And for some reason, that just filled up. And so then I started running every single day, and I found that passion that came back for running, that I remembered, that runner's high, that beautiful experience, that no matter how stressful of a day that you're having, or whatever, drama you dealt with from the day, no matter what, you can still have that, that 30 minutes, 20, 30, 45 minutes of pleasure and peace and joy by getting out there and hitting the pavement and going for a run. It became one of my most favorite times of the day, just to get out there and go hit it and run. And I've gotten faster at running. It's helped me. Some of the benefits that I've received from it is that it's taught me a lot about my mind. um, uh, way more about my mind and that I ever would have thought just from running. And I used to run in the past, but I guess I wasn't as deep and introspective like I am now. But I love to think and listening to inspiring audios when I'm running, so I start thinking about things. And when you're running every single day, taking no days off, you gotta make some adjustments in your life, and you gotta really eliminate every and all excuses. And so one of the things that taught me is that there is always a way when you're committed. There's been a lot of days where it was not convenient at all for me to go running. I've done many of these nighttime runs like this. I've run quite a few times where it was at 11 p.m. at night, but that was, the time I had to get it in. I wasn't going to let myself go to sleep without doing it. I have ran miles in my backyard, just running in circles around the fence like a crazy person because I couldn't leave because I had my daughter, and I was on daddy duty, so I couldn't just leave her at home while I took off for a run, so I just would run in circles in the backyard. I've ran inside of my house for miles, for 30 to 45 minutes inside of my house, just because I have my daughter, it's nighttime, my daughter's sleeping, it's raining out, and so I can't, go outside, so I just ran in circles throughout the rooms. I made a little trail running into the kitchen, around the perimeter of the room, running into the living room, into my bedroom, and I would just do that over and over and over again, just like a lunatic, just running, but I had to get it in. In fact, about 2 or 3 months ago or so, I near destroyed my ankle. I was running and landed in a pothole. I was running at night and thought I broke my ankle. Just swelled up like crazy. It hurt so bad that even just when I was sleeping at night, just having my bed blanket touching it was bringing me to agonizing pain. But I was so committed to running, and I'd gotten back into this powerful habit that I felt and it could feel transforming my life, that I didn't want to let go of this habit. I didn't want to break it because I know the power of momentum. So even so, I still ran every single day, even when I had a sprained ankle. I know this sounds crazy and I don't recommend it, but I just duct tape up my ankle. I just duct taped it really tight right before I'd run. I'd put on a big sock and I would just duct tape it really tight, and I would just get out there and run. And I don't recommend that. I think that's just because I've listened to David Goggins' books 3 times, and I remember hearing him talk about how he ran 60 miles with 2 broken legs, broken shin splints, and he duct taped up his leg. So I thought, hey, you know what, if he can do it, with 2 broken legs, I think I can do it with 1 sprained ankle. So I just duct taped up my foot really tight and got out there and did it. And I know that's crazy, I don't recommend that at all, that's stupid advice, but I'm just sharing my journey, being transparent. And I got through it. My ankle got better. I kept training and improving, and like I said, because one of the things that I've learned in my life is the power of momentum, and that one of the keys to motivation and to staying motivated is to stay in momentum, because it's really hard to start, stop, and you know what I mean? Like how you might be eating healthy all week, and then on the weekend you cheat a little bit or you take off working out, and then all of a sudden Monday morning is always a lot harder getting going. So, but the secret is, if you just never stop and you just stay in momentum, then it's so much easier to just stay in motivation. And it all really just starts with 1. Just one. 1 is such a powerful number, because great things or bad things can just start with one. This just started with 1 day of running, and then that turned into 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 152 days, and I'm still going. I love this. I'm going to keep going and going. The same thing can happen with bad habits as well. Nobody starts out to be an alcoholic. They just have 1 drink 1 day, and then all of a sudden that turns into years down the road, decades down the road, they become an alcoholic. But it all starts with 1. So 1 is such a powerful number, and 1 is what can be the beginning of momentum. And then also, one of the really important things about this is the power of developing, power of when you're creating a habit, and something that you really want to ingrain in your system as a habit, is to understand the power of using time to your advantage. So, like the saying goes, that it takes 21 days to make it a habit. there's also an extended part of that saying, which is there's 21 days to make a habit, 90 days to make it a lifestyle. And there's actually, I know that may sound like a cute saying, but there's actually a lot of science behind that saying, because around the 21-day mark, your brain is going to work, making new neural connections. But around the 90-day mark, that's actually when that's when the new neural connections. I don't know the scientific name for it, but I remember reading it in this brain book about how this is when they really get hardwired in, and that's why it becomes a lifestyle. 21 days to make it a habit, 90 days to make it a lifestyle. And what happens after this switch, when you've gone long enough doing a habit, is that it no longer takes willpower to exercise the habit anymore. Where in the beginning, it takes a lot of willpower and mental power to get out there and start your habit. If you've decided you're going to start running every day, in the beginning, it may take a lot of willpower, a lot of mental convincing, and just a lot of mental work. Oops. Someone just tried calling me. Sorry about that. Someone just tried calling me right in the beginning of this. It may take a lot of mental work to get out there and start running every day, because you've really got to convince yourself and talk yourself into this. But as the time goes on and you've ingrained this, turned into 21 days and 30 days and 50 days, 68, 90 days, eventually it becomes so hardwired in your system that it doesn't take willpower anymore to exercise this habit. It's just a part of who you are. It's become your identity. And that's what I find has happened for me, that it doesn't require willpower anymore for me to get out here and do this. I don't, it's not like, I don't really have to convince myself. This is just who I am. It doesn't matter. There's no excuses. I know no matter what happens, whether it's a raining, thunderstorm, I injure yourself, whatever, I'm going to get out here and do it. It's just because at this point, it's just ingrained in who I am. And because we only have so much willpower, so you can use those willpower reserves for other things, for other new habits that you want to adopt, other projects that you're working on, because we only have so much willpower. So as you build one habit and you ingrain it in your system, and it doesn't take willpower anymore to exercise, it's because it's a part of who you are, it's part of your nature and your identity, then you can utilize your willpower to start ingraining into your system new positive habits. And this is how I have a lot of positive habits. People say, how do you remember it? How do you do all these things? It's not because I'm special or anything. It's just because for so many years I've worked on creating habits, and they all start with just one habit at a time. I would work on meditating every single day. Then over time I started the Wim Hof breathing exercises. Did that every single day for 2 years, and then these habits, they get to the point where you don't have to think about them anymore. They just become ingrained in your identity and just ingrained in who you are. So as you can see, I'm passionate about this. I love it. This has been one of my favorite, most beneficial habits that I've ever adopted, and I know I probably say that about every habit that I share and every new ritual that I adopt. But I mean, I'm just being honest, transparent. That I'm a passionate person. I get excited, and I'm just sharing from the heart. All these habits that I adopt and I share with you. My enthusiasm and passion and my excitement for them is real. It's because I take these on, I try them, and if they work for me, then I like to share about them, and I share them because I've seen results from them, and they do work. So this has been one of my favorite habits that I've adopted. It's taught me a lot about myself, and this being consistent and running every day has also helped me. This has also bled over into other areas of my life as well, where I've found that I'm having it be easier to be consistent in other activities, whether it's a business activity or some other habit that I'm doing, just because this excellency is bleeding off into other areas as well. And it's funny because when I'm running out here, and I don't want to turn this into like an hour-long video, so trying to keep this short, but there's so much I could say about this. But when I get out here and run, I start to, it's one of the, for some reason, I guess it's the runner's high, all these like opportunities pop into my head, like ideas, and I get really excited and I start thinking about all the things that I want to do and what I want to accomplish. It's become one of my favorite times of the day for brainstorming. I get so many good ideas, I get excited and I start thinking about things. So if you find that you want to have some excitement in your life and get reignited with a new sense of motivation, get some new passion, some new ideas for things that you may want to start thinking about doing in your life, get out there and start running every day and allow that natural runner's high, the endorphins, to flow through you. Get that natural high instead of taking a substance or a drug, And what happens is, watch what happens. Watch as, over time, you start to think of ideas start to flow to you. You get more creative. You'll find that you're more energetic. I've learned so much about myself from, and this is, and it's funny, this hasn't even been years. This has just, it's been almost 6 months, and I've had a lot of breakthroughs. I can just imagine over time. But I think one of the biggest keys and one of the biggest benefits that I've had from this is that of having more energy consistently in my life, because energy is everything. Energy is crucial to accomplish things in life. And by getting out there and running every single day, it's pumped my life full of more energy, and it's also taught me that no matter what, I can always generate joy on my command. That I'm a joy generator, that if I want more energy and excitement and I want to feel good, all I got to get out there is do it, hit the pavement, go for a run, and every single time without fail, I always come back feeling better, feeling more energetic, feeling more optimistic, feeling more happy and silly and so forth, just from simply going for a run. This is something free that you can do. Doesn't matter how fast you go, not a race. You don't have to compete against anybody. This is just you against the pavement. But I highly recommend this. No matter how slow you got to go, it doesn't matter about it. It doesn't matter what the distance is that you go, even if it's just starting out, going around the block. Something is better than nothing, and allow time and momentum to work in your favor, and watch as over time all of a sudden that one lap around the block turns into 2 blocks, and before you know it, you're running a half a mile and then a mile and then more. Like I said, I never would have thought that I'd be doing 8-mile runs. If you would have told me this 8 months ago that I'd be doing 8-mile runs, then I would have thought you were crazy. But that's just the power of momentum and getting out there and doing it. And I think you're going to find that you really come to enjoy this as well, that no matter what happens in your life, no matter what kind of stressful thing or whatever drama you have in your life, that this will be one time in your life that is just your personal me time. Nobody out, you just your own uninterrupted time where you can just get out there and just have that quality me time where you can self-reflect, you can think about things, and I especially recommend to do it outside if you can, just because it's just something about it, getting outside, and I just really enjoy it. But hey, anything is better than nothing. Even if you got to run around in circles in your bedroom and throughout your house like I did, hey, something is better than nothing. So today is day 152 of running every single day in a row. And I'm not sure how long I'm going to do this for. If I'm going to do this for the rest of my life or what, I don't know. But for right now, I am going to keep going because I love this, and I'm excited to see how I improve, see how I get faster at running, better at running, and just to see what else happens. I'm really enjoying this. So if you have any questions or comments, leave a comment below. Let me know if you're into running, and yeah, so I hope you all having a great day, and until next time, guys, let's make it a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year. Let's make it a great life. See ya.